Un, dos, tres, sí, sí.
Bueno. Iván, bienvenido. Vamos a prestar un poquito de atención, por favor.
Welcome, Ivan. Please pay attention.
Quiero que vean.
I'd like you to see the lower part of the skull, where you can see the first part of the spine. As you can see, it's really small, and the skull has a peculiar opening. Ivan is here from León. This is another part which has been disassembled. If you look for it on internet, skull, Rodope skull, you will find images of a skull which is really equal to this one. But when Ivan encountered this skull, he had no idea about Rodope, nor about aliens or stuff like that. So, what happened?
Vamos a darle micrófono a Iván. Háblame un poquito más. Bueno, vamos a ver. ¿Están desconectados todos los compañeros de sonido? Es que están todos desconectados. Ahora sí.
Vamos a ver, todo empezó.
It all started in 1998. I lived in a small village in the province of León, and I had a dog who was used to bring some bones who found in the garden. So there were no streets. We are on the hill, so there were no streets. And the dog came with a bone, and he left it to my mother, and this surprised us for the way he did it, with really taking care about this bone. And we took this part, and we didn't know what it was. So we started asking to the people living in the village, farmers and so on, and we asked to which animal it could belong. You don't consider this as to be important, and what happened is you use it as a decoration for the house of the dog for about 3 years. This is the destiny, which is weird sometimes. As I said, coincidences do not exist. And one day, yeah, I'd like to add that one of the neighbors said that when looking at it, he said, this is of a riñoveiro, strange animal. Okay, it's like a being coming down from a storm. A strange being coming down from the storm. So, like weird, it sounds like something you've never seen. This is what makes genuine an investigation about UFO, because when you encounter a farmer or a person living in contact with nature, say, you know, a being coming from the storm, and it's normal to them, but not to us. But it's curious. Ivan saw on TV a reportage about a guy, 30 years old, that replying to communications, He was following a communication without knowing it, because he was just feeling it like voices and intuition, like an internal guide to go to this mountain, to Rodope, in Bulgaria. And at a certain point, it decides to dig, and then it finds a skull exactly identical to this one, together with some metal tool in a strange alloy. What it does, this young boy asks himself what it is, and he brings it to the director of a museum, of the nearest museum. As the same, he himself is astonished because he can't find any animal similar to this skull. So he brings it to the director of the Paleontologic Museum of Asengrado. And this director, he says, this is not from any human, nor because the spine, this is the back part of the spine, and cannot be catalogued. There is no species on the earth which can possess this kind of skull. This is an anatomical feature with 6 cavities, and while we have 4. There is no separation of the hemisphere. It's a skull, or a part of the skull, which is really weird. This hole is the same. The Rodope skull is a similar one. And on the description, they said it was about a shooting. But the discussion lasts about 20 years. And currently, they said it's a skull of a cow. You did the proof, and you took a skull of a cow, and you went to the butcher. You bought, and we bought the skull of a cow. And we decided to take out all the parts, the external parts, and we compared, and it has nothing to do. The first thing, the weight itself of a cow skull is not like the skull of this one, which is really light. This is really light, while the cow is really heavy and much bigger. It has no different levels, no holes, a thicker bone. So there are just some similarities, but definitely not the same structure.
Os sugerí hacer esa prueba después del cabreo que pillamos de la respuesta del Museo Británico.
You suggested doing this test after the reply of the British Museum. Where we live, there are many farmers, and if it was something so common like a cow, there would have been more, and we could have identified them before. And butcher know how to cut cows. So this is your mobile, just destroyed. There is a peculiar detail, the Skeptical Inquirer, which is a skeptical publication, suggested that this was a cow skull, and they said this is done on purpose, and this guy, deformed on purpose, decided to give a shape to the skull to make her wear the shape. You see Ivan expressing his genuinity.
Lo cual no quiere decir que después sea un pillo, ¿verdad? Pero es evidente, de hecho ha venido aquí pagándose su viaje.
He came here paying his own journey. He is not looking for being famous or being rich with this history. It doesn't earn any money on that. It's losing money. And I'm really sure that he cannot have manipulated. He has not manipulated this skull, which has like a thin level, because it's old. We brought it to Atapuerca, and the doctors examined it, and it was difficult to determine the date because it's really old. They couldn't do the carbon test.
Pero pese a la insistencia de Iván por tratar de resolver qué demonios es esto,
Ivan insisting to discover what was it, no scientist decided to help him and to show interest. Despite publishing several articles on internet, on local magazines, on national magazines. And this makes me think something we saw last year during the same Congress. We had the Atacama being. If you remember, there was no skull, but you could take some pictures of this being from Ataca. And Ramon Navia witnessing and showing without any interest. And after 1 month, it has been shown on every newspaper saying it was a deformed human. Yeah. Everyone started making bad critics. I think we are examining a piece which is part of a biological being, a small dimension, of somebody who wasn't taller than 1 meter, looks like having legs and with a skull volume which was up to my hand. It's a mystery. And I'd like to thank Ivan to bring it here to Barcelona, to share this experience with every one of us.
Que por cierto ha traído el cráneo en la misma caja de zapatos
in a shoebox, the same that his mother used 20 years ago. And while saying goodbye to Ivan, I'm kindly asking to the next speakers.